Anybody that's paid attention to this podcast at all, they've got our character pretty well nailed down, and they will not be surprised to discover that while I did not take immediately to snow skiing, because why in the world would I strap 2 skis to my feet and then go straight down the hill? It took me a while to warm up to snow skiing. You, on the other hand, were immediately already like ready to go. And I remember you from an early age, like I'm over there hanging on to that icy tow rope, getting hand cramps, trying to be pulled up that tiny little bunny hill. And I look over and there you go. It's like a streak down the mountain. Did you know how to stop? I don't know, but you were sure going fast.
Tips down, baby. Tips down.
Are you ready, big dog?
I'm ready.
Did I even tell you what we're doing?
No.
Welcome to Kansas QB, a podcast about growing up in rural Kansas, hosted by 2 former high school quarterbacks. And now, here are your manly hosts, Steve Jewell and Tyler Martin.
I muted myself on the yeehaw. It's not my day. It's not my day.
It's a tough day.
You know what? We're going to start from there. Growing up in the cornfields of the Sunflower State, we were inseparable. Brothers from different mothers who also happen to be sisters. Our moms, not us. Decades later, he's in Iowa, I'm in Missouri, but we'll always have Kansas, and we'll always be the QB. Howdy, folks, and welcome to the show. I'm Steve, he's Tyler, and today's episode is entitled Snow Creek. Hey, Tyler, did you notice that, number 1, I didn't hit record the first time we recorded this, and then number 2, I left the mute button on when I yeehawed?
I did notice because we're starting over.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. Not my day. Not my day.
Hey,
go ahead.
It was not your day, but yesterday it was the Chiefs' day.
What happened with the Chiefs?
Oh, you didn't see it? Oh, they won the Super Bowl.
I saw. Yeah. Yeah, go Chiefs. Yeah, go Chiefs. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, this was 3. The Chiefs won 3 days ago for people listening to this podcast, but we're recording this on Monday. So yesterday was a happy time in the Martin household. It was good. It was good.
Now, it was a happy time in the Jewell household as well. Of course, myself and my children were all 49ers fans, but Jayla put on a Chiefs jersey. Bethany put Jetson in a Chiefs shirt, and then, of course, she's a big fan. So we were all cheering for him. Jackson was cheering for the Chiefs just because he's mad at the Eagles. He feels like they cheated by hurting Brock Purdy and then Josh Johnson. So he was all about the Chiefs. I was cheering for the Chiefs because I wanted Bethany to be happy. She felt robbed in 2019 when the Chiefs won and beat the 49ers, and all of us were like depressed. And she felt like, here, this great thing happened, and nobody cared. Like, we were all mad and sad, and Jackson's in tears, and she wants to celebrate, but she feels bad. She's like, I felt like I was robbed of celebration. And I said, that's why you should have gone to your mom's house to watch the game, because you knew this was going to happen. But anyway, so we're happy for, this time around. So, yay, Chiefs. Go Chiefs.
No, it was fun. We had some people out to the house. All of our coaches came out and their families, the ones that have families and their children came out. So our kids had people to play with. Case had a buddy out. Maddie had a friend over. Our old neighbors came out. Of course, mom and dad were out here. So it was a good time and good food. Played some games, introduced other people to Tornado Rex for the first time, which was awesome. And then I think they played Ticket to Ride for a while, and then we played some other stuff. So it was a good time. We had fun.
Did you get some Tornado Rex level sponsors for the podcast?
We did not. But Julie, maybe jumping on board.
Oh, hey Julie, what's up? Jump on board.
Yeah.
I'll get your ticket to ride right here. Hang on to that Tornado Rex. We're going to talk Tornado Alley here in a bit. But before we get there, which by the way, are your kids just spoiled now? I mean, my kids are Royals fans and 49er fans and KU fans, so we're kind of spoiled. KU won the national championship. The Royals, though, only Jackson remembers the Royals winning, and even he was like, 2 years old. But still, the Royals recently have won, and now the Chiefs have just won. It's a good time to be a fan in this part of the country.
It is, and I try to impress upon my kids. It's not always like this, but they don't know that. It's always the teams that they cheer for have been successful pretty much every year. Now, the Royals, not so much lately, but Maddie's had a couple of Jayhawk national championships. She's had Royals World Series victories. She's had the Chiefs win twice. We're always pretty good in football, so she's gone to trips to try to win national championships with Grandview. It's been a fun ride, but yes, it definitely a spoiled ride for these guys. And the amount of time that we spent growing up lamenting, at least myself. You had the Niners when you were little going through, and they were always good. The Dolphins were always disappointing. The Royals were not that great. I was just becoming a Chiefs fan by proxy as we were down there with the family stuff. So these kids, though, it's incredible.
Yeah, and I will say we did at least have the early 90s, and they weren't winning pennants. But even those teams, like back then when baseball was structured differently, they would have been in the playoffs, but they just couldn't get to the pennant because of, the way they only took 4 back in the day. But George Brett, Frank White, I mean, we did get to watch them when we were really little. Denny Matthews and Paul Splittorff calling those games. There was a little there, but they didn't ever win it all. Yeah.
No, but at least we had players to cheer for, and we had those 90s era players of people coming into Kaufman were awesome. That was you kind of based on who you were going to go see on. Is it going to be Griffey? Are we going to get to see Cal Ripken Jr.?
Yeah.
Are we going to get to see?
Yeah. It was a bit of a golden age. Of course, I guess everybody feels that way when they're kids and they're collecting baseball cards. I don't know who would be the equivalent today. I don't, who Cal Ripken Jr. would be, but they're there, I'm sure.
Well, we went and watched the Angels play the Royals this summer it was Case's, I think, first game that he remembers at least, but we went down, again, shout out to Todd Cottle and people back home hooked us up with some tickets to go to the game. So we went down, I took Maddie and Case and we went down and spent the afternoon down there, and it was the Angels. So we saw Shohei and Ohtani. Yeah.
And Trout.
So Trout didn't play that game, but Shohei homered. Ooh. So it was like
he pitched and homered.
You don't know this, but this is one of the greatest baseball players, definitely of your lifetime, the short lifetime, probably of all time. When it's all said and done, he's going to be in the list of Hall of Famers. And you saw him homer. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Again, spoiled.
And before we go to our second thing, I did want to ask, though, since I mentioned my 49er fandom, is there anyone in Iowa jumping ship and cheering for the Niners now, thanks to old Brock Purdy?
Everybody. Yeah, no, it's got to be cool because he was a fan favorite. I mean, he started for 4 years at Iowa State, and we're in the capital city. Iowa's on the eastern side of the state. Ames is right up the road from us. So it's truly a split spot where we're at. But again, we're in a rural community, and kind of like where we grew up, most people were K-State fans. Most people were Iowa State fans, or a lot of them anyways up here were just around us. But no, it's been cool. I know there was more Brock Purdy Christmas presents, jerseys underneath the tree this year, judging by when I pick kids up now. So it was fun to cheer.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Secondly, before we get into the main topic for today, we had some suggestions for shows from our main man, DarthTedd, Mike Hubble. And since we mentioned some of the ones that our friend Matt had shared with us on Patreon early on, I wanted to mention these. Through our Patreon portal, if you're a fan of the show or supporter of the show, got a little chat that goes on in there. And, some of our, supporters have contacted us through there. And here's some suggestions that Mike had for future shows. So we'll just run through these really quickly. First one, the 49ers need a quarterback. Who would make a better NFL quarterback to fill in for the 49ers, Steve or Tyler?
Definitely not me right now. Like I am one misstep away from knee replacement. So
okay, I wouldn't be much better now with the way my back's feeling. I'm lifting through it. I'm working out through it. But right now I'm thinking, man, I got to lose 20 pounds if I want to ever get this back the way it's supposed to be. I think he probably meant like dating back to our playing days, in which case I'd say, well, probably the Division II football player that is also a track athlete. You could run the ball. I mean, you were a 4.4 guy, right?
That's a long time ago. Yeah.
So at least they could set up the Trey Lance stuff for you. So we'll just save that episode. You win.
That was quick.
Yeah. Moving to number 2, he said first cars. Full story about our cars, the price, how we got them. That would be fun, especially with you with Old Yeller and kind of how that came about, because that was an interesting car.
Yeah, I was going to say that would be the best story just because of what we did to that Ford. I think it was that 84 LTD that was just a hideous color of yellow. Like it was bad. But we made it a converted. Mm-hmm. We just cut the top off. Ron Schultz and my dad cut it off, and it wasn't the safest ride, obviously, beyond that. But then we painted it, and I mean, it was fun. It was fun. It wasn't very smart, but it was fun.
I remember it. I don't remember what you did, but I always wondered what was going to happen to that the part at the top, like the fabric on top is falling off, so it's kind of like it hits you in the head when you got in the back. Yeah. Not a problem after you cut the top off. Not a problem. You just cut it right off. I'm going to save mine just so that, I have one security question left on my bank account so people can't guess how to get in there. Number 3, with the amount of sports and coaching experience you both have, how do you truly develop a player? How can you translate successful practice habits into productivity in the games?
That's a good topic, and I would gladly have this conversation with anybody just so that I can learn the secrets to that. If you figure out how to develop a player, truly develop players well, and then make it translate into games, stop coaching, go write a book, and make millions of dollars. Yeah. Because that's a great question, and it's a great thing to talk about.
It's hard to do. I mean, maybe a little easier to do it one-on-one, but as a team, there's a lot of moving parts there. And I like I was telling you earlier, I'm trying to be a baseball coach, which that's fine. I'm not an idiot. I'm a competent baseball coach. I've been doing it for years, but I just want to pass on to somebody else. So now it's like, okay, this will be my first year actually coaching kid pitch. I'm like, okay, now I got to manage pitchers. I want to teach them proper techniques so that they don't hurt their arms. How to build arm strength. Got to play everybody, everywhere, but at the same time, try to be competitive. There's a lot. There's a lot to that. Obviously, I want to develop our kids more than I want to win games. So so that's a current topic for me, for you as well, because you're actually a professional coach. The 4th one I said was Midway versus SJCS All-Star 8-man football teams. Who wins? I mean, at first glance, you're thinking, well, Midway, obviously, because they, we won 1 state championship and appeared in 4. Midway won 8 and appeared in 9, right? Or 10.
Yeah,
no, you won
and it
9.
dates back ways.
Yeah. You got more players, obviously.
The depth, there's going to be a lot more depth.
I don't think it'd be close, if you get like a top 30. And it may not be close even if you're top 8. But, we did have some players play Division I football, and we've had some D2 players. And so I think, we could make it a game, but, you go back and start listening to those old Midway names, and it'd be a tough team for any high school to beat.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that I can get on the field. I mean, I don't know what position I'm going to have to get moved to, but I mean, I'm not playing quarterback for that squad if Todd's involved.
Yeah, that would get crowded pretty fast. Fast. Well, our team, ours went too. You and I both. Yeah. You and I, maybe our most value to both teams might be that old water boy and ball boy position that we played for so long for Midway.
Absolutely, we have that one down pat. I can get you some cold water, boy.
Yeah, and I can spill it all over my pants, but I'm wearing slick pants. So I'm not even gonna feel it. Maybe that's the value that we bring to the squad. Well, Tyler, as always, you can find the audio version of Kansas QB on nearly every podcasting platform on the planet and the video version on the Jewel Media LLC YouTube channel. Did you have something you wanted to say here, Tyler?
I was
you had written this in.
I have Chiefs written down for every break that we have. So
what did the Chiefs do?
They won the Super Bowl.
They did win the Super Bowl, didn't they? My goodness. Well, Broken News is brought to you today by our friend Matt, Mike Hubble, Carmen of Midway, my man Jonah, and of course, Mark and Nancy, 2 of my favorites. If you'd like to be a friend of the show, head on over to www.patreon.com/KansasQB. And of course, we would love for you to subscribe to the Jewel Media LLC YouTube channel. Don't forget the LLC. You'll end up somewhere you don't want to be. Well, maybe you want to be there. I don't know. She seems nice. As well as download the show on your favorite podcasting platform. Tyler, are you ready for some broken news?
Let's.
Broken news.
Well, if it ain't broke, it ain't news. Breaking news is for tryhards, and we no longer have the stamina for that kind of effort. So we take stories that have already been broken and share them with the folks at home. Have you heard about this, Tyler? According to an article that appeared in the Atchison Globe, look at us, stay in Kansas. Snow Creek is open for business despite the warm weather. Now, this does apply to right now because it is warm right now in St. Joe, Missouri.
Awesome.
It's fantastic.
Awesome.
But this article was dated December 29 of 2022. So the point is, Snow Creek is open. You remember Snow Creek?
Oh, it was a place that we didn't go frequently is not the right word because we definitely did not go there frequently.
Couldn't afford that.
No. But of the activities that we were not capable of doing on our own by ourselves at our houses or manufacturing, Snow Creek was the one that I looked forward to the most.
A quick question before I finish this article here, Tyler. I didn't ask you this ahead of time, so I just want to know your first gut reaction. Snow Creek, Sycamore Springs.
If I'm gonna only get one,
You get one.
I get one, then I'm going with Sycamore Springs, just because that was in the summer and it had a pool and we spent a lot more time. We went there a lot more. Now, what do I like to do more? Miniature golf or go skiing? Definitely skiing.
Yeah, so really Sycamore Springs is cheating. They're the full package.
Yeah.
Snow Creek just offers the one thing. Yeah, okay, all right, good.
Yes.
So according to this article entitled Snow Creek is Open for Business, well done, Atchison Globe, it says that the ski area can even make fake snow. Listen to this. Snow Creek has over 60 snowmaking machines with the capacity to pump 3,000 gallons of water per minute, covering 100% of their terrain in as little as 72 hours. As long as the temperatures stay below freezing, they'll be able to produce snow. Tyler, that's how they're able to do it in such warm weather.
Yeah, as long as it stays below freezing, that's fine. No, when they had snowmaking capabilities, but it not to like cover 100% of their terrain. They've definitely amped that up. So up here where we're at, and I know we're talking about Snow Creek, but there is a snow hill about 20 miles. I don't even know if it's 20 miles. Maybe 20 miles from us. That is used by Central Iowa quite frequently. There's another one just by the fairgrounds on the east side of Des Moines that is closed currently, but they're undergoing stuff. And both of them have snowmaking capabilities, especially Seven Oaks up here. So it's a good time. It's a good time.
It's a good time. You wouldn't think us flatlanders get much chance to ski, but yet here is Snow Creek. Now, also, according to Snow Creek's website, Snow Creek is the last ski area heading east to west until you hit the mountains. So they think of themselves as the gateway to the west. You got to go to Colorado to get more.
It's a gateway to the Rockies. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll buy it. I don't know. I'm trying to think of where there would actually be bluffs. I mean, I'm not going to spend a lot of time thinking. I'm sure they're correct, but
yeah. I mean, it came from their website, but yeah. How about that? Well done, Snow Creek. Let's get into our next segment.
The things we remember.
Well, we're getting older. We've already forgotten more than we ever knew, but some memories still cling to our brain parts, like my hands to the ski poles that I neither needed nor used, but somehow could not do without when skiing at Snow Creek. This list includes memories from our time growing up in Kansas. Let's see just how well we can remember. In the Broken News segment, we learned that despite the stereotype of pancake flat topography, there is a ski resort area a mere stone's throw away from the Kansas-Missouri border. Tyler, have you ever been to Snow Creek? You've already answered that question, but give us some more.
I'm trying. I think the first time that we went to Snow Creek, I was 5, maybe. I think I was 5.
We were young.
We were, and from the first time that we went, this was something that I knew I would like to be doing for the rest of my life. Not obviously on a day-to-day basis, but I had more fun and continue to have fun doing that growing up through junior high and high school and into college, and then now, it's gravity doing the work, man. And
Yeah.
it's
Anybody that's paid attention to this podcast at all, they've got our character pretty well nailed down, and they will not be surprised to discover that while I did not take immediately to snow skiing, because why in the world would I strap 2 skis to my feet and then go straight down the hill? It took me a while to warm up to snow skiing. You, on the other hand, were immediately already like ready to go. And I remember you from an early age, like I'm over there hanging on to that icy tow rope, getting hand cramps, trying to be pulled up that tiny little bunny hill. And I look over and there you go. It's like a streak down the mountain. Did you know how to stop? I don't know, but you were sure going fast.
tips down, baby. Tips down.
Sounds about right from what I recall. I remember, probably one of my earliest memories is getting the ski lessons. And when we were little, it seemed like every time we went, we got the ski lessons. It didn't matter if we'd gotten them the year before, we just got them again, And what did they teach you at the ski lessons? They really only taught you one thing.
Snowplow.
Snowplow.
Make a pizza.
You make the pizza and you just have no fun going down the hill. I mean, that's what I learned. It's like the way you ski properly as a child is you just get in this little wedge shape and you go super slow, and it's a little bit tiring because you're fighting the mountain, you're fighting gravity. And I thought, this is not that fun. So what I would do is I would snowplow down the first part of the bunny hill, and then I'd open her up, Tyler. Once I was at an elevation of about 32 feet, then I'd really point them downhill, and I'd zoom past, the grandmas like, hey, look at this young buck sprinting down this hill.
I think I had to do the ski lessons once. I don't think I did the first time we went. I think it was at night, like when we were really little. And I don't know if it was a St. Luke's thing. I said St. Luke's. St. John's.
I was going to say, I don't think any of us were at the hospital.
No, exactly. I thought about that.
Different Saint.
Like a Canania trip, maybe. That seems like it could have been, because I think like Winchesters were there, and I think that there's some definitely people there that. Anyways,
okay. Well,
I didn't do it.
Yeah, my first memory of not first memory. We've been a little older, but it was a youth event. It was some kind of youth event. Maybe it was with St. John's, or I don't, or maybe it was something school related that we just had like a bunch of kids jump on. But it was a youth night.
It was a school trip.
It was a school trip, but I know they had a bunch of churches there. Because I'll never forget it. I'm out there, and we're just kind of left on our own. Like we just scattered around the hill, and our parents all figured, well, they got to come funnel back through the this part of the ski area in the lodge anyway. Yeah. So let's let them go. And I remember at one point, I was trying to stay close to Kevin, and Kevin was more adventurous than me, and he was going a little faster than I was, and so I was trying to stay as close to him as I could. And at one point I lost him. And I remember just kind of sitting there, kind of looking around. I was trying to figure out, okay, who do I know? Where are they? And where should I go next? And it was dark at this point because it was a night event. And this, I assume, youth leader skis up to me. It's like, hey, do you know Jesus? I'm like, yeah, I know Jesus. I'm like ignoring him. Like I'm looking around like where's Kevin? I need to find Kevin. And he's like, oh, are you saved? And this is evangelism at its best for those of you who are into this kind of thing. He says, so are you saved? And I'm like, yeah, I've been saved my whole life. And I'm like, look, I'm really just ignoring him. And first of all, I wasn't that social as a kid anyway, towards adults, towards kids, yeah, but not adults. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, where's Kevin? And this guy keeps asking, he's like, well, can you remember when you became saved? And I remember looking back at him, I was like, no. I can't remember when I've been saved. I'm like every good Midwestern child. I prayed the prayer 8,000 times because I didn't want to go to hell. And I remember being like, well, if you don't remember the time that you were saved, then, and he kind of looked at me. I was like, oh, there's Kevin. Thanks. See ya. And I skied off. But I don't know why that one sticks in my mind. Maybe it's because I'm a Bible teacher now. And so like that, I teach the kids how not to evangelize. I don't know. But that one, I don't know. That stuck out. But there was a lot of church groups there, Tyler.
Yeah, that's what makes me think. I don't know. Like we did a lot of stuff with the Rushes, where Rushes and the Roberts went to church in Troy. So maybe we tagged on with that.
That might have
been one of their. Yeah, it definitely could have been. Was that the same trip where Kevin banged his head?
Yes. So that's one of my big memories. Was we had, I was trying to stay close to Kevin. I can't find him. right? I lose him again. And he would been going down the hill, like tips down, like you said, going 100 miles an hour. And I guess the story I heard later, he just slipped out. There's hard ice, which kind of the downside to, being, skiing at this part of the world. You don't always have the fluffiest snow. And it's kind of like that on the green diamond or the green square, whatever, green circle square, whatever it was, at where it divided, you could go right, you could go left. Well, he was trying to turn and he couldn't turn and he slipped and hit his head on a patch of ice. And so I didn't see any of this, and I couldn't find him. I was getting a little worried for him because, he and I kind of stuck together. And later, I see him through the window. He's being checked out by the medics in the ski lodge. And apparently, he kept saying the same thing over and over again to Dad.
I remember what it was.
What was he saying?
Because he was saying, he kept saying, "Oh, man, what time is it?"
Yeah.
It's like over and over it.
Because he was having so much fun, he didn't want to leave, and he knew that it was supposed to it's like an all-night lock-in, but we weren't staying till 5 a.m, So there was going to be like at 1 o'clock we're going home or something. And so he was worried that he had missed all the skiing, which he did after that, obviously. And what's funny is funny. I mean, funny is probably the wrong word. Looking back, kind of funny. When I had the worst concussion that I had in high school, the old don't remember anything, get in the ambulance and drive to the hospital concussion. Apparently, when I was on the sidelines standing next to your mother, I kept saying, "It's like, wait, are we winning? What's the score?" And then somebody would tell me, I was like, "Oh man, I thought we were going to be good this year." Of course, we went to the state semifinal that year, so we were pretty good. But I kept saying, we're not killing them. Oh man, I thought we. So I guess brothers think alike. Oh man, what's the score? Oh man, what's time is it? But
yeah,
that was classic.
Because he hit his head, and I think we went back up one more time to the top. Like me, you, and like my dad was with us, and that was when it's like, okay, something's wrong. How hard did you hit your head?
Yes, right, and he survived. He's fine. He's great. He's a smart guy. Smart guy. He's doing great.
It's not stopped him from being successful with his brain.
Nothing permanent. You can go skiing and it's fine, even if you hit your head.
Now it could be the first concussion I had skiing was in Colorado, and that one, things have not been the same since the concussions started adding up.
Okay. Well, here's the question for you then, since you've experienced that.
Yeah.
Not on the concussion front. That's we can get away from that. I want my kids' friends, if they listen to this podcast, to play football when they're in high school. But Colorado, Snow Creek, like compare the two. Is it pretty much the same? Are you getting the same level of skiing?
No, it's
not so much.
If you enjoy skiing and you go to Colorado to ski, you can't go back seriously to Snow Creek or Seven Oaks or Sleepy Hollow, all this stuff up here. Like, you just can't do it. It's just the sheer magnitude, just from a beauty aspect of, I'm getting on the gondola and it's going to be a 10-minute ride to the top and we're going fairly quick, but just the creation and the mountains and just everything out there is like, what was I doing in
Weston, Missouri?
Weston, Missouri.
Halfway between Weston and Atchison.
Smokestack. Yeah, exactly. So no, that was, I don't know. Have you ever been skiing in Colorado?
I never have.
Wasn't
no. No, I've only been to Colorado twice, and both times it was in the summer. Now I will say I did go back as an adult to Snow Creek, because when I was a kid, then we went like decades without going. And I was not an ambi turner. I was kind of like Zoolander. I could only go, to the right. I could not go left. That was an issue for me. And so I would go right, fall over, get up, go left, turn right, fall over, get up.
I remember that.
That's how I got down the mountain. That or on my butt. And so when I went back, I was like, guys, I can't turn left. Like, I'll do this. It'll be fun. Like, we went back as adults. 3 of us couples went. And I was like, I don't know. I'm just not good at skiing. And then I realized, like, oh, wait, I have grown up and matured since then. I've lifted weights. I've done triathlons and CrossFit and ran. And I was in a lot better shape. And you know what, Tyler? Skiing at Snow Creek was a lot of fun. I could go right. I could go left. It was a blast. It's like, man, why don't we do this more often? Well, then we had kids and we don't go anymore. So that's
exactly. Well, so just talk about Snow Creek. Tyson and I went more often than you did, obviously, but it was something that we could go. You get the all-night pass and ski under the lights, and we would go down. And we started. I never got into snowboarding because we didn't ski often enough. I didn't want to take the time to fall for a whole night or 2 nights or however long, but to get through that first learning curve, and then you're able to start learning how to do it. Like, no, I'm not wasting my time, and I don't want to be sore. But we started skiing on like the snow skates, like they were like for people to walk. I'm holding my hands up to show you how.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah,
basically like tiny skis, and you could kind of spin and do stuff, and they were easy. You didn't go as fast, but we did that. And then my dad took us out to Colorado a few times. I think Brandon went with us too. I know me and Tyson went. I thought Brandon went with us too because Brandon skied. We would go through junior high and high school. We go as a family. I took Steph. Well, when I was in college, I went with Tyson and the Thompson boys with Kevin and Eric. We went skiing in Colorado on spring break one time. And then I took Steph after we were married, and it was her first time skiing, period. And we were in Colorado. That was, I would suggest maybe taking a lesson or two before you go to the top of a mountain with me and friends of mine. She had fun. It took her a couple days to really get good at it, but the first trip down the mountain, it was like she hit a landmine and there was a yard sale. It's skis flying, poles flying. It was unreal. And I'm mad at my friend for taking us down. Like, dude, she's never skied before. It was,
and you went down the Black Diamond. Well, and that's a good cautionary tale because D1, 2-sport athlete, if she takes a couple days to get used to it, then maybe start at Snow Creek. I guess that's what we're saying, Tyler. Start at Snow Creek.
And that is going to be, I think, coming up very soon, either next year or hopefully next year, that she wants to take the kids to Colorado at Christmas time to go skiing. So hopefully we'll get that. Yeah. We'll get that ironed out. That would be
so they can start a yard sale. Well,
exactly.
That does it for things that we remember. As we reach 10:30 in the all-night ski lock-in of life, we are just thrilled that we remembered something. Kansas QB is a production of the Jewel Media Podcasting Network. And before we go, we want to thank Tracy of Tracy Lindley Voiceovers for the way too professional audio. And of course, I would like to thank Tyler for clearing time in his busy schedule to talk about Snow Creek.
Yeah, and even if we can't be the quarterback for the Chiefs, we still have until 2026 to get ready for Milan. So we could go back and ski.
Yeah, well, we're going to do that. Well, that's enough of that. For Tyler, I'm Steve, wishing you big fun in your small town.